Hello everyone! Today we are looking at the January 12, 1998 episode of Raw is War. The night WWF celebrated 5 years of Raw and continued building momentum toward the Royal Rumble. This Raw is War took place at Penn State University. By this point, the road to the Royal Rumble was already red hot after last week's chaos. Austin Rampage continued. The Rock's confidence was growing by the week, the X were running wild, and Kane and The Undertaker were on the verge of something big. Right from the start, the energy inside the arena was unreal. You could feel that the fans knew something special was coming. The Generation X made their presence known early, with Triple H warning Owen Hart to stay out of their business. He promised that Shawn Michaels would have something to say later that night about The Undertaker and his so-called family. The show kicked off with a chaotic Four Corners tag team match. The New Age Outlaws defending the tag titles against the Headbangers, the Godwins, and the Truth Commission's Sniper and Dragon. The Outlaws came out wearing Florida Gators jerseys, instantly drawing heat from the Penn State crowds after their team had lost to Florida in a bowl game. Classic cheap heat move. The match was complete chaos, brawls everywhere, quick tags, and plenty of double teams. The Outlaws played it smart though, picking their spots and eventually using a foreign object to steal the win over the Godwins before running off to safety. Oh, also the Legion of Doom were watching closely, because they had a scheduled match against the New Age Outlaws at the Royal Rumble. Moments later, we saw the first sign that Austin was in the building. During the commercial break, he apparently stunned the Godwins and then drove his truck as close to the entrance as possible before storming to the ring. Michael Cole tried to interview him, but Austin was all business. He reminded everyone that he had won the Rumble last year and didn't care about being a target. He even drew a bullseye on his chest, daring anyone to come after him. Classic Stone Cold, just fearless and defiant. Backstage, the Generation X pulled up to the arena in their limo. But things didn't go smoothly. A big WWF production truck was parked right in their way, blocking the entrance. Shawn Michaels was furious, yelling as they got out to find whoever was responsible. The group eventually had to walk around the truck, still shouting and making their presence known. Then came a quick squash match, with Kurgan taking on two jobbers. Just another attempt by the WWF to push him as an unstoppable monster. Nothing fancy here, just pure domination. Owen Hart showed up right after that in dramatic fashion, ambushing the X by climbing onto their limo and attacking Triple H while Shawn tried to pull him off. Eventually, the limo drove away with them fighting. Total chaos. Up next, Mark Meru faced Vader. Meru tried to do his usual boxing gimmick, but the real story was the tension with Sable. Before the match, the microphone didn't even work for Meru, and then Sable walked out, getting a massive reaction as always. But things got weird. Goldust came out dressed as Sable, complete with the weekend outfit. The crowd, interestingly enough, loved it. The match was more of a comedy segment than a serious fight. Sable ended up coming out, distracting Meru, which allowed Vader to hit a Vader bomb. But Goldust jumped in and broke a coconut over Vader's head. Yeah, it was that kind of a night. A little later, we see the DX limo pulling back into the arena. This time, there was no sign of Owen Hart anywhere around. just DX returning, clearly ready to pick up right where they left off. After the break, things didn't calm down for long. We cut to Vader in his locker room, clearly in pain after being the latest victim of Steve Austin's rampage. Vader was furious, clutching his neck and shouting in frustration as officials tried to check on him. Guess nobody was safe that night. And seriously, when you gonna mess with Kurgan, Steve? Meanwhile, The Rock continued proving that he was quickly becoming one of the best heels in the business. Before his tag match with D'Lo Brown against Ken Shamrock and Mark Henry, he delivered another killer promo, mocking the Penn State crowd, taking shots at Cordell Stewart and Joe Paterno, and promising to rip the Rocky Sucks t-shirt right off Mark Henry's fat ugly ass. Heading into the match, the story was mainly about Mark Henry. Just 2 weeks earlier, the Nation of Domination had attacked him on Shotgun Saturday night, and Shamrock had made the save. Tonight, it all came full circle. After a few minutes of action, Henry shocked everyone by turning on Shamrock, slamming him to the mat and dropping a couple of big elbows. The Rock hit the rock bottom, and Henry counted his own 3 counts before tearing off the Rocky Sucks shirt to reveal a Nation of Domination shirt underneath. The crowd couldn't believe it. The world's strongest man had officially joined the Nation. After the break, Michael Cole caught up with the group backstage. The Rock proudly claimed he'd brought Intercontinental Gold and Mark Henry to the Nation, telling Farouk he should be thankful. But judging by the look of Farouk's face, that tension inside the group was only getting worse. Then came one of the highlights of the night, the DX promo. Triple H mocked Owen again, bragging that he'd been pushed away, while Shawn started talking about Mike Tyson, who was set to appear at the Royal Rumble. Shawn declared that Tyson might be the baddest man on the planet, but that Raw was his territory. Hunter and Shawn joked around, but then Owen Hart appeared on the Titan throne, calling them out. He then limped to the stage with a crutch and swinged it wildly in front of Triple H before being held back by officials. The crowd was loud for that one. Owen was on fire. Next up, Jim Cornette continued his NWA Invasion angle, bringing out the legendary Rock and Roll Express to face the Disciples of Apocalypse. Cornette went on about restoring tradition to tag team wrestling, even joining commentary to talk up the NWA's gory days. The crowd though wasn't buying it. This was Penn State in 1998, and most fans couldn't have cared less about old school Southern tag team wrestling. The match was short, with Skull and 8-Ball using their power to control things early. But just as one of the DOA members went for a pin, Cornette slid into the ring and cracked him with his trademark tennis racket right in front of the referee. This caused an instant disqualification. Afterwards, Cornette tried to bail, but the DOA caught him until the Rock and Roll Express jumped in to make the save, landing their classic double dropkick. Chains then ran down and cleared the ring to end the segment. In a pre-taped promo, Cactus Jack hyped up his upcoming Royal Rumble match and his feud with Outlaws, hinting that they had no idea what kind of violence was coming for them. That led to Mankind vs Goldust, but this time Goldust was dressed as Dude Wolf, with Woon as his cheerleader. Mankind didn't waste time, walking in the mandible claw right away, but before anything could happen, Austin stormed in, hit stunner on both men, and grabbed a headset, screaming "Hell yeah!" as the crowd exploded. Vince McMahon then appeared to tease a big announcement for next week's Raw. The crowd immediately booed him, which Jerry Lawler joked about, saying they love him. Sonny made a quick appearance next, coming down in a cheerleader outfit, teasing the crowd and hyping the next match. Then came Taka Michinoku and Scott Taylor taking on Los Boricuas. It was a decent match, with Vega and Jesus eventually taking control and getting the win after a series of power moves. After the match, the Boricuas tried to beat down, but Owen Hart ran down again and cleared the ring, keeping his momentum going. Finally, DX closed the show with what was supposed to be their huge announcement. They started mocking Paul Bearer and Kane, joking about Kane leaving his father. But instead of Kane, the arena went dark and The Undertaker's music hit. He walked straight to the ring, telling DX to keep his family out of their mouths. Before he could finish, Shawn hit him with a super kick and DX started beating him down, until the lights went out again. This time, Kane appeared. At first, it looked like Kane was going to join DX, but then he turned and went after them instead. He guzzled Shawn, threw Triple H aside, and when The Undertaker stood back up, Kane pointed straight at him. The crowd went insane as The Undertaker dropped on one knee, seemingly accepting his brother's gesture of unity. The show wrapped up with what was supposed to be the Royal Rumble number drawing. The ring filled with wrestlers waiting for their numbers, and the Honky Tonk Man even appeared to announce his Rumble entry. Because why not? But before anything could actually happen, a huge fight broke down. Then the quad shattered and Austin's music hit, and the crowd went absolutely insane. Everyone turned toward the stage, but Stone Cold came through the crowd instead, slid into the ring, and dropped Phineas Godwin with a stunner before anyone knew what happened. He flipped some more wrestlers off and disappeared just as fast, leaving complete chaos behind. As Austin made his way up to the ramp, the Nation of Domination and Savio Vega jumped him. The show ended with the massive brawl in the ring and Stone Cold getting beaten up. And that was Raw. Compared to last week, this show felt lighter and more purposeful. The Rock delivered his best promo to date, Austin stayed red hot, and the Kane Undertaker storyline reached another level. The wrestling still took a back seat, but the characters and storytelling were firing on all cylinders. With the Royal Rumble just days away, WWF was finally finding its attitude. But now, all eyes turned to the Royal Rumble. What will happen between The Undertaker and Kane? Are they truly united, or it is another mind game? Can The Rock keep control of the Nation of Domination, or will that ego finally explode? And with every superstar gunning for him, can Stone Cold Steve Austin possibly survive another Rumble? Or maybe Kurgan will finally get his hands on the rattlesnake and end his hell rising. Or maybe the Hong Kong will actually win the whole thing and challenge the WWF champion at WrestleMania. And let's not forget that we also will have Vader and Goldust clashing, the Legion of Doom and New Age Outlaws finally fighting off their problems, and let's say surprising match. What will happen? We'll find out soon enough in the next video. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more classic RAW reviews. The support will truly give me motivation to continue doing this kind of videos. Thanks for joining me And until next time, I'll see you at ringside.